everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another tea talk and it is all about, basically it's all about boys, what I've learnt from relationships and two little story times, because I just thought, well, I've had enough embarrassing moments in my life with boys, so I might as well tell you all about them and embarrass myself more by telling you on the internet. So here we go. But yeah, no, I just thought it'd be a fun one. I have done a tea talk before on boys and mental health. But this is more about kind of like what I've learned from being in relationships and various types of relationships. I haven't been in like 20 million relationships and I don't know everything, but I've just kind of been in 3 extremely different ones, and I just think it would be really good to kind of say what I have learnt from them so far. Without further ado, we have to start off with a tea. Before I start talking about the mug though, I'm going to talk about the tea inside it, because it's very, very summery and it's very, very hot, and I wanted a warm drink, not like a really hot drink, but I wanted like a warm drink, but I didn't want a tea, like a typical Yorkshire tea, 1 sugar, bit of milk, really strong. Didn't want that kind of tea, just wasn't in the mood for it. So I've been obsessed recently with, I really like the Tetley. They also do a green tea range and they do a passion fruit and mango, and it's really good. But recently I've been obsessed with this one, and I just wanted to, I thought I might as well mention it and show you what it looks like instead of me being like, oh, it's this tea, da, da, da. It's just really fruity and it's just really nice. This video isn't sponsored by Tetley. However, if Tetley would like to sponsor me, you're welcome to. So, you know, if you feel like sending me more of your tea, because I am such a fan, especially of your flavoured teas, let me know. Just because I have tried a lot of like berry teas and I've tried a lot of fruit teas, and they're never strong enough. They just taste like water with a tiny bit of like cordial in, but it's not enough cordial to actually taste like it, if that makes any sort of sense. Whereas this, it's blueberry and raspberry flavour, and it actually tastes like blueberry and raspberry. It just tastes like a nice little berry warm drink. And I think it's quite good as well, because obviously it's not got any caffeine in it, so it's nice to have at night time as well. Now onto the mug, the more exciting part. Okay, so it's focused now. As you can see, it has like lots of different Shakespeare characters on it. It's honestly like the coolest mug. I absolutely love it. It's also not my mug. It is actually my boyfriend Josh's, and when I'm around his and I have a tea, I always have it in this mug because it's just the perfect size. It's a beautiful size mug, and it's so cool because I love Shakespeare, and it combines my love of tea, Shakespeare and shape of mug all in one. So it's basically the perfect mug for me. So I stole it to put in a tea talk, and he said I could use it as long as I gave him mug credits. So there you go, Josh, your mug credits. Cheers. Just gonna let it cool down a bit though, because it's very hot. Okay, so before I start talking about things that I've learned in relationships, let's start off with a really embarrassing story time of a really terrible date that I've been on, shall we? Now obviously, since I made a video about boys and stuff, I said that I'd only been on 1 date at that point, which was true. I now, however, have been on quite a few more dates. I'm not like a serial dater or anything, I've just been on a few more dates and they have all been absolutely awful. But this one was just, it just wasn't very good. It was just really awkward. First of all, it started off like, right, I'll give you a little bit of explanation. So the boy that in question, I had known from school. I knew him quite well, and I think he just messaged me about something and I messaged him back, and we just started talking, and like I realised actually we've always had like a lot in common, but we never really hung out, and we were just having talks and stuff. There wasn't really any like interest, like further interest, and then I don't know, we just kind of like, you know what, actually we should probably hang out. Decided to like go on like a date basically, because we were both like kind of interested and we realised we got on really well. However, at this point he had like an operation, so it meant that he was on very, very strong painkillers, and was like, that's why we decided to meet a bit later in the day. So he'd taken his painkillers and he would be like quite normal. He wouldn't be like still high off his painkillers when he came to meet me. He didn't wake up at the time that he was meant to wake up. I had to call him before this date, by the way, and wake him up so he would wake up and take his meds. But he fell asleep after I had woken him up, I think. So he fell asleep again, or something like this. But basically, by the time he finally met me, he was still high off his meds. So the whole date was just kind of like, I don't know if he even remembers what happened. or anything, but like we went kind of like around. We didn't really plan what we were going to do, which I always think, by the way, is a definite just not a good idea. Don't be like, oh, we'll just go with the flow. No, have some sort of plan, like have some sort of idea. Even if you're saying you're going with the flow, in your mind have something planned, because we just kind of walked aimlessly around town and it was so awkward. Like we'd had conversations that were like really easy and stuff like this. On this date, it was the most awkward thing. I had nothing to say to him, and he was just really weird and like kind of like quiet, but then all of a sudden really chatty, and then it was just the weirdest dynamic ever. And he bought a pair of shoes and ordered another pair of shoes or something like this, and like I think he bought like 3 pairs of shoes while we were out or something, and he was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna regret this when I'm not like high on my painkillers. And I'm sitting there like, great, absolutely fab. And then we decided to go to Five Guys, and when we went to Five Guys and had food, it kind of was a bit more normal and it was a bit more chill, and it just felt a lot better. But then after that, again, it was just awkward and weird, and we didn't really seem to have any sort of like flow to our conversation, and it just wasn't gonna be a good date. I needed to pick something up from the theatre because I was like, well, I need to do this anyway, so I might as well run an errand whilst on a date. So I did. I went to the theatre, and then we ended up bumping into his cousin. So he was like chatting with his cousin for ages, kind of introduced me, kind of didn't, and then we just kind of said bye and I got on the bus and went home, and it was just one of them, really. I guess it's not the worst story time in the world, but it was just weird. My advice, don't go out on a date with someone when they're high on some sort of painkiller, and also don't not plan anything. Make a plan, because it works out a lot better that way. So basically, what I have learnt like from relationships, really, I guess, is what I wanted to talk about. I've learned, I would say, 3 main lessons, and they are kind of like, I've realised as well what I want in a relationship. And obviously this changes so much when you're younger. Like your first ever relationship probably isn't going to be your last relationship either, and that's okay. Like it's good to have other relationships and other like experiences, because it means that you've learnt from them, and you take what you've learnt from them and take them into your new relationship. And like I've just learnt so many things. Like for example, I have had boyfriends that have been incredibly controlling and have checked my location and wanted to know where I am 24/7. And now I'm kind of in a relationship where I have like space. It's not like you having space from each other because you don't want to spend time with each other or anything, but it's just kind of like I don't need to know what he's doing all the time. And I think that's something that comes with trust. I think that is one of the most important things in a relationship, is to trust someone and to fully trust them. And I've had boyfriends in the past that have had, I say boyfriends, one in particular, that had really bad trust issues because of his past experiences. And I think that's one of the things, if you've had past experiences where you've been cheated on and you have had your trust broken with them, it's really hard to regain that trust with said person, and B, you can't bring them into another relationship because it's just going to make that relationship fail too. And if you have like had someone that has broken your trust, I think it's best to have some time off and just be single for a bit and not rush into another relationship as much as you can. Because even if you feel like you've met someone and they're great, have time. Say to them like, I need time for myself, because it is so important to have that bit of time and to just be on your own for a little bit and learn more about yourself. Ending in a relationship that is such a long relationship is going to be hard, and I kind of ended that one, and then I'm not gonna lie, went very quickly into another one that was not okay. Like realistically I needed to have more time for myself, and I needed to get to know the guy that I was going to be in a relationship with a lot more, because I did not know him well enough going into that relationship, and he turned out to be nothing like I thought he was. And it was not a good relationship for me or for anyone else. Like he kind of was very manipulative, very controlling, and just wanted me all to himself. And that meant for me that I pushed my friends away, I pushed my family away. Luckily now I'm in like an amazing place. I love me and my family and all my friends are super close, and it has not altered our relationship, but it definitely could have. And I think that's why it's so important to really get to know the person that you are going to be in a relationship with before you get into a relationship with them, if that makes sense, because they could also have very ulterior motives that you don't know about, which sounds really bad, but they can. Like, for example, like, you need to have balance. Like, you need to have time with your friends, time with your significant other, and time by yourself. And I really stress the time by yourself, because it's important to have like nights in where you just don't really see anyone. And I'm not gonna lie, I love having my nights in where I don't see anyone. And it's not because I don't want to spend time with my friends. I love my friends. I have great friends. It's not because I don't want to spend time with my boyfriend. My boyfriend's cracking. He's really nice and we get on and we have really cool conversations, just like I do with my friends. But sometimes I like to just have a night just by myself, whether I'm doing work, whether I'm like writing stuff in my diary, whatever I'm doing. I just think it's like so important to have a little bit of time away. And I think I would say, like, first of all, so the lessons, I've rambled, but the lessons so far that I've kind of tried to communicate and tried to get across is trust. You need to be able to trust the person you're with and get to know them so you can have that trust. And secondly, you also need to have balance within your relationship. I think it's so important to have that balance. And thirdly, communication. Communication is key in whatever relationship I'm talking about, whether it is with a significant other or whether it's with a friend. I've said this to a few of my friends now, but the relationship that I'm in now, because I've learned so many lessons along the way from either friendships or previous relationships, I feel like I'm actually in quite a mature relationship, because I feel like I can have time away from him. If I don't hear from him for the whole day, I don't freak out. I'm not like, oh my god, why has he not replied to my message? Probably because he's busy and he's doing his own thing. It would be the same for me. If I went out with one of my friends for like a whole day, or if I was just doing work or something and he had messaged me and I just hadn't looked at my phone all day, then it would literally just be the fact that I hadn't looked at my phone and I'd been busy all day, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's important to have that. I don't know, like, that's and that kind of, the communication thing kind of links in with the trust again, with the fact that I'm not worried if I don't hear from him all day and then he finally gets back to me in the evening. It's just because he's doing stuff. It's not because he's like all of a sudden is contemplating a relationship and doesn't want to be with me anymore. I think relationships and friendships are actually a lot more similar than we think they are. I think that's also something to consider. So I hope you've enjoyed this random little ramble about relationships. I just think it's something that this is kind of a video that I would have wanted to see a year ago, or even further back than that. I would have wanted to kind of see this honesty from a relationship kind of video. When I was in relationships that were incredibly unhealthy, I would have needed a video like this, and that's why I wanted to make it. It might be rambly, it might not be the best tea talk I've ever had, not even got real tea. It's fruit tea, what a disappointment. But like, it's just a video for me that I wanted to make because it is a video that when I was younger I would have wanted to see. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've kind of like taken on the lessons, and I'm gonna end it with a nice little story time for you. Now, I don't think I mentioned in this video, but I am in a relationship, as you can tell from what I've spoken about, with a guy that I've met here at university. He's called Josh. He's lovely, he's nice, he's cool. And basically, when we first got together, we met because of the fact that I viewed his house, because obviously like I'm in first year, he's in third year, and so he's going to move out. I need to move into a house next year because halls is just very expensive. So we obviously looked for houses with my group of friends, and we looked at his house and it was really nice. And then later on that evening we all went as our like friendship group to go and see a show at the local theatre, Clifftown Theatre in Essex, because some like ex-World Performance students were performing, so we went to go and see them, obviously because we wanted to like see what kind of things they had produced, and it was really good, really enjoyed it. And basically then we went for a drink afterwards, and one of my friend's boyfriends is in the same class as Josh, so basically he introduced us because he lived in the house and we wanted to know more about the house, so that's how we actually got like to know each other. And then a few days later I saw him on Tinder, and I was like, yeah, I thought he was quite fit, but I was too nervous to actually say anything like that, so I like kind of did the whole swipe, and he also said yes to me, and we matched. Spoke a little bit on there, he gave me his number, and then we just chatted about random crap for a really long time. And then he finally like came round, we watched Back to the Future together, because he hadn't seen Back to the Future thank God he has now, because I'm a great girlfriend, obviously. But like, he hadn't seen Back to the Future before, and I was like, this is ridiculous. We need to sort this out, which is why he came round and we watched Back to the Future. And we had a really nice time and everything. And at one point we paused the film, because obviously I just need to go for a wee, and he actually did as well, because we were drinking cider as well. And sometimes when you need to drink, you need to wee. Anyway, I needed a wee. Didn't need that long explanation, but I needed a wee, so I went to the toilet. And I came back out, and now I had noticed for a while that my jeans were kind of like on the verge of ripping, and they always rip for me on my inner thigh, always. For some reason, my thighs don't lie, and they're too big for Joni jeans from Topshop, and they rip every single time after a certain amount of time. They just rip. And I came down, and like, I came and sat on my bed, put my leg out first, sat down. I didn't even sit down before, so I just kind of went, duh, like quite politely, quite slowly, and my jeans ripped. And my whole like inner thigh was exposed, and it was just horrendous, and it was so embarrassing. And I remember being so awkward about it, and I was just like, what do I do now, what do I do now, what do I do now? And then I was like, right, I'm just gonna put joggers on. And he was like, I'll go in the bathroom if you want, and you can get changed here. I was like, no, it's fine, I'll grab joggers and I'll go in the bathroom and I'll just change in there. And I just went into the bathroom and changed, and I was like so annoyed, because obviously like I wanted to look cute but casual, so I wore like jeans and then like a slouchy t-shirt and like a cute bralette just peeking out, like this kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, just looking really cute and just simple and easy, it's fine. And then I had to put on joggers, and my joggers are not flattering, so I just felt like a complete and utter twat. So that was fun. And I also, we did another little thing before Josh actually even came into my room. Obviously he came to the flat and he came into the kitchen so I could make him a drink, and all my flatmates were in there, and one of my flatmates, Ree, actually put a song on called Bad Blood, and put it on in the kitchen. She was like, right, if he knows this song, he has passed the first test. If he doesn't know this song, I don't think you should have a second date with him. And we literally just walked into the corridor, and Josh was like, wait, 1 second, and I was like, what? But there's like, our kitchen's further up the corridor, so we just literally had walked in. He was like, no, wait, I know this song. He was like, is it Bad Blood by A&AO? And I was like, yes it is. And that was when I knew that Josh had passed the first test. And I went and told Ree, and she just turned to me and went, marry him. Which, I'm not gonna lie, is quite forward, and I'm not planning on getting married anytime soon. But I appreciate the fact that he passed the test. I'm gonna go finish off my fruit tea, probably edit and upload this video, and then just enjoy the rest of my Saturday and open my window finally, because it's boiling in my room, yay! So I hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's been rambly and just loads and loads of random crap, basically, but that's what you get with tea talks, it's guaranteed. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you have, like my video. There's lots of like other things that I've got linked down below. I put them all in playlists, they're all down in the down bar thing. I've got more tea talks, got drama school diaries, got some spoken word now, lots of things on this channel, a myriad of choices for you. And tune in as well for my next video, because I'm 21 very soon, and I basically, when I was 18, on my 18th birthday, I filmed a time capsule to open when I'm 21. So I'm very excited, so I'm going to be reacting to it and filming a new time capsule for when I'm 25. So it's very exciting, and yeah, I hope you enjoy, and I shall see you very soon. Bye! Oh shit, okay.